Good morning. See if I have sound. Hi, Robin, my online BFF.
Good morning.
All right, here we go. Take care of a little business first and wait for people to join us. I'm going to put in some links that you might be interested in, things that I'm going to use in this live. Give me a minute. So many things. Give me just 1 minute. One more thing and then we'll jump right in. Oh, we're going to do something really cool today. Well, I'd like to think we do something really cool every time, but I'm really excited about this one. But then I'm excited about all of them, so give me just a minute. Man, I've been running around all morning. I've been, I got, I got interested in another printable collection, and once that grabs hold of me, it's hard for me to, it's hard for me to break away, and yeah, because it's like, kind of like when your creativity's flowing, you don't want to, put a cap on that. So I just kind of let it roll, and it kind of put me behind the 8 ball as far as timing here this morning. But no worries. We'll catch up here in a second. There's my Charlene. Hi, sweetheart. Okay. Okay. That's it. That's it. Let me go back and see who I missed. If I missed anybody. No, Charlene, it's you and Robin. You, me, and Robin. That's okay though. If you've not done this before, when you watch this on replay or whatever, exclamation point notify, no space, type that into the comments here in the live, or if you're watching it on replay, and you'll get an audible notification of when I go live. I go live on Wednesdays and Sundays, but sometimes I throw a surprise live in there because I get inspired and I want to do something, you know, I want to do something different. Linda's here too. Yippee! There's Trisha. Okay. All right, you guys. Let's pan out. That doesn't need to be quite so close up right now. Talk about a couple of things. I put in some links in the beginning of the live in the comments. Today I'm going to make an iron orchid order, and I have a listing for pre-orders for the conservatory mold, which is my new obsession, because look, you can make a stand. So now your globes stand freestanding. So there's a pre-order for that. I'm in about 2 hours after this live is over, I'm going to be ordering. So if you want one, pre-order it, and you'll get it probably about a week, week and a half, okay? My other new obsession, not new, but you can also stand the cloche mold on one of these conservatory molds, okay? Yeah, Linda, we got 13 watching, and a lot of people never say anything, and that's okay. I'd love it if they did say hi, but that's perfectly okay. You know, anonymity has its benefits as well. Where was I? So cloche molds will also stand on this. So now you can make a freestanding cloche mold. And there's also a pre-order if you don't have the cloche mold. I'm going to be doing a lot with that because this is this is what made me run a little bit late. Not late, but I'm a little scattered because I got inspired, and I thought I've kind of perfected in the printables the image that fits beautifully on the snow globe, okay? It's not oval, but then the snow globe is not oval either. It's straight across the bottom. Do you see that? So I was making mine oval, and you were losing so much stuff at the bottom because you had to cut it off. So I decided to go with a different format, more of a rectangular. It fits side to side. And this is right at the bottom. I didn't lose any of my pumpkins or my mums or anything. And this is the one that we're going to work with today. So then I thought, well, if I can do that with that, I can also, oh, thank you, Trish. Thank you, Trisha. Thank you. You've tried it and you like it. Yay, thumbs up. If I can do that with snow globes, I can do it with cloches, okay? So now this is sized. I can't take this cloche mold out yet because it's still not cooled enough. I designed a template because I'm so techie now. I designed a template that I can drop an image into, and this fits perfectly in the cloche molds, okay? All the cloche molds are kind of flat at the bottom, so this fits perfectly. We'll probably do this Sunday. This is from a new collection that'll be out in a day or two called Fabulously Fall. So, yeah. So this will fit perfectly on the cloche mold. You put a stand on it. It's freestanding. Fabulous. All right, so that's that. What's the other thing? Mystery boxes. I put a link in for the numbers are rising. Hi, Robin Wilson. I put a link in for the mystery boxes. They're going fast. I have a few left. There's 4 different price points for you. It's a bargain. It's high-end things that we love to craft with. Also, it's not too late to join our class. It's not too late to join our vintage Christmas tin class. Thank you, whoever that was. It's not too late to join us here, okay? Because the lives will be there for always, okay? So I put a link there as well. Somebody's asking me, is a new format available for previous printables? Trisha, I knew somebody was going to ask me that. I've not fully thought out the answer to that. And here's the thing. I don't know, I'm probably closing in on maybe 100 printable collections. I don't have the time to go back and readjust them all. And the circles work well. The rectangular shapes work better. So to be perfectly honest with you, I can't go backwards. I got to move forward because I have ideas and I have to move forward. So the answer to that right now, not having thought it through 1,000%, is probably not. Hi, Irma. But I'll message you, Trisha, okay? But I'm very happy. I'm very excited about this. Very excited. Because here's the thing. Snow globes, they're not necessarily Christmas, but they're kind of Christmas. A cloche mold is not Christmas, okay? You could put any design on a cloche mold. put it on one of these conservatory label stands. You've got a freestanding image. Yeah, this is big. I worked on that all morning. Oh, I'm so technical, I scare myself. All right, so we're going to start. I don't know that we're going to finish. We're going to start 2 snow globes with the first thing I'm going to show you how to do in hot glue, because that's what I work in. I don't really work with clay, and I never ever have worked with resin, and I have no plan to. Thank you, Charlene. Trisha, we'll message after the live, okay, doll? I'm going to show you how to make these attached to these, okay? First, I'm going to look and make sure that my edges are good. And you know what I do? I take and I do like a little carving situation. If I've got anything that's not perfectly straight, by the time I set my glue gun down, I can, thank you, whoever that was, I can press this into my hand and get a nice straight edge, okay? So the rest of that looks really good. Let's see. This is a little, I call it roughly. See how it's a little bit roughly around the edges? No worries. Take the barrel of your glue gun and just run it along there till it flattens out. By the time you set the glue gun down, you can press that into the palm of your hand. And now you have a perfectly straight edge, okay? Let's see where else we're at here. Oh, the rest of it looks pretty good. Maybe a little tiny bit on this side. Just a little tiny bit. I'm so excited about that darn conservatory mold stand. That was Cindy Point over in the Creative Tribe came up with that idea, and I think she should get some kind of prize for that. I don't know what. Maybe I'll send her a free printable, because I'll tell you what, that is, to me, it's genius. Genius, and it has inspired me and gotten me so excited, because how many tree ornaments can you make, right? Or magnets for a refrigerator. How many of those can you make? So now you can make endless, because now they can stand. Oh, so excited. All right, here we go. So I'm going to show you how I attach these to this, to the conservatory mold, to make a stand. I've only done it one time before. It's not like I'm an expert, but it's pretty straightforward. With hot glue. Clay, I don't know. Resin, no clue. But this is how you do it with hot glue. Okay, so I've got my conservatory mold. There's, I don't know if you can see there's a little rectangle there in the middle, and that's what I'm aiming for, okay? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my glue gun, and I'm gonna melt a little trough in there, and then I'm gonna fill it with hot glue, and then I'm gonna take my snow globe mold, and I'm gonna set it in there and hold it until it cools. Super easy. Here we go. So I say. How can we use conservatory mold if not using hot glue? If you're using clay, let me think that through. If you're using clay, I think I would probably glue it. There's some glues that work really well on clay, so I would probably glue it. I know there's some, probably on YouTube you can find out, because I believe Cindy Point, who discovered this idea, I think she works in resin, and I think she put a YouTube thing up, so for resin, and it looked pretty straightforward. It looked pretty easy. I don't work with resin, so I don't know anything about resin, but I saw somebody do it, and I think it was her, and I think I saw it on YouTube, and her name is Cindy, C-I-N-D-Y, P-O-I-N-T-E, but I don't know if she's on YouTube under a, you know, under a business name. I don't know. Trisha, when I get off of here, I'll do a little research and see if I can't find that live for you, okay? And glue, I mean clay, I would probably just glue it. Because with clay, you know, if it's wet, you can't do that because you're going to distort. So, yeah. All right, let's do this. So I take this one. This is the barrel that I like for this. Any barrel would work, okay? I'm going to look and see. Now that's not straight, so it's not going to, not all of it is going to, so I'm going to start right here at the beginning of that, and I'm just going to pull, and what I'm doing is I'm making a little trough, a little indentation. And then I'm going to put some hot glue in there, not a ton. Let's put some hot glue in there, okay, like that. Then I'm going to come back with my, I'm eyeballing everything. I can see from the camera that it's straight. Hold on. Oh yeah, that's straight, okay. And then I just hold it until it cools. And it works great. And I kind of like moved this around and pulled on it a little bit to see if that was really the seal that I'd hoped it would be, and it is. I mean, that's on there. That's not coming off. And the trick is not just to put a little trough in there, but to fill that trough with fresh hot glue. All right, that should be, and there we go. There we have it. We have it on a stand. It's not oozed out anywhere, which is lovely. Got a little tiny bit of an ooze right here, but if I catch it quickly enough, where's my ooze tool? Dang it. If I catch it quickly enough, I can get rid of it. I don't like ooze, do you? And once it's painted, it's probably not a giant deal. I have a particular little pair of tweezers that's really good for this, but I happen to know they dropped in my trash can, and I'm not going to go digging through my trash can right now. Okay, so there's that. All right, we've done that. I'm going to use this image because, look, it's a autumn porch, and there's a black and beige plaid blanket on that bench. I mean, these are my colors right here, guys. Let's paint this first. So my thought is to paint my base black, and then I'm going to rub with gold, because there's a lot of dark in this image, especially the blanket. So I want to paint the bottom of my snow globe black, and then when we hit it with the gold wax paste or the rub and buff, it'll really look cool. So let's do that. So I'm going to be using, oh darn, Robin, are you, well, you can't do that, Robin. You can't put a link into yourself. They won't let us do that anymore. Facebook thinks we're children. They make up all these rules for us. But I mean, it's their platform, and they let us use it for free, so, you know, can't complain too much. There's a link to Robin's song and all of her products. So this is Paint Couture Pitch Black, which is black, 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 and I love it. So that's what we're going to paint the bottom of this. Of course, the top we're going to have to paint a farmhouse linen, because we're going to put, you know, we're going to decoupage, and you want to decoupage over light stuff. So I'm just going to take my black paint, make a big mess on my paper towel. When you're painting this, you kind of got to push in from the sides to get that little overhang painted. I'm trying to be careful here on the back, because am I going to paint the whole back of it black? I don't know. I'm not going to right now. I'm just kind of talking to myself, you guys. I'll probably paint it black and put some gold foil inlay on it. Or really, you don't even really have to decorate the back if you don't want to. Like, I didn't decorate the back of this, and I think it looks lovely. I just painted it that same beautiful burnt peanut color. We were laughing about that the other day. Remember burnt peanuts that you used to get when you were a kid? And they were really hard. That's the color. That's what I call it, burnt peanut. Were they called French burnt peanuts? I can't remember what exactly they were called, but you guys know what I'm talking about, don't you? If you look in from the sides, you can see where you need to get your paint. Purchase paint another from Robin, and they're fabulous. Oh, absolutely. You know what? I've never had anybody say, why in the world would you send me to that woman? I've never had anyone say that, because not only does she have fabulous products that she stands behind 100%, it's all I use. She's a genuinely nice woman. So, you know, you got a twofer there. You got somebody selling fabulous products that she stands behind, and she's a lovely person. And I've tested her, believe me, because I don't trust a lot of people. I trust her. All right, so I know I'd like to think I can get real close to that and not paint the face of that black, but instead of being a dummy and doing it and then having to do it over, I'm going to get a smaller brush. Boston baked beans. Sherry, thank you so much. That has been driving me crazy. That's exactly what they were. That's exactly what, and that's, is that not the exact color? That's the exact color of those things. Thank you so much for saying that. That's been driving me nuts. Boston baked beans, that's exactly right. Oh, Aracella's, hi sweetie, I didn't see you pop in. I guess I should go back and see if I've said hi to everybody. I have, okay. Can you paint the back off-white, then black? The black might affect the design on the front. Very good point. Very good point. I had not thought it through that much. That's a really good point. Robin, that's a really good point. Yeah. Yeah, if I painted the back of that, although with the white, I don't really know. Maybe I'll do an experiment and see. Or maybe I just won't paint it black on the back. Maybe I'll just paint it. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. But whatever I do, I'll let you guys know. How's that? So I got a smaller brush so I can get closer to the actual globe part of this and not get black paint everywhere. Even at that, I don't know that I won't get it everywhere. It's a crapshoot. Not the most interesting thing to watch, I know, but it'll get more interesting. Oh, I know what I was going to do. I was going to look and see if I had any kind of a mold that I could use to make like a little pumpkin to put down in the corner of this mold. And I think I know the mold. I gotta dig it out and look. All right. I like the way that looks black. It looks like cast iron. Okay. I think that mold is called Dainty Flourishes. Give me a minute. And it's got a little piece on it that looks like Oliver. that looks like a pumpkin. I've used it before. Go through my thousands of molds. There it is. Is it Dainty Flourishes? It is. That looks like a pumpkin to me, but it's big. You know what? Let's cast one and we'll see. It might be too oversized for the piece, but we'll make one and we'll see what happens. So hot glue, nice and hot. Start at the bottom, let the glue do the work and fill up from the bottom up. Done. All right, let's move that to the side so it can cool. Don't let me forget that I made that. I'll forget it's over there. This is ready to come out. Here's how you know if your hot glue molds are ready. Yes, I do paint the bottom, Sherry. Yes. Hi, Kathy. Oh, you're a clay and resin person. Okay, you know what? We all have our different preferences. I prefer hot glue, but I've used it for years and I've kind of worked out all the kinks. You'll know your mold is ready when you push from the back and it does that and it releases. If you get to a point where it stops moving, that means that is not cooled enough yet. Okay? If it does this and it just stops moving, it's not cooled enough yet. I know this is cooled all the way through. So I always just push them from the back. Done. Okay? So there's our cloche mold, and we'll talk about that later. Let's dry this a little bit and put the white on it. I'm trying to locate a oh, whoa. Hold on. Hold on. I'm trying to locate a contact for Ooh La La Printables a download. Message link won't work. I'm not sure I know what that means. Radine, I'm not sure I know what you're asking me. And of course, after you've, dried and painted and stuff, you might see a couple of little spots that you missed. Just go back and kind of wiggle your brush on that. Fill that in. It's not that big a deal. I'm not even going to worry about the back right now. Radine, did you buy a printable and you're having problems downloading? Is that what's happening, dear? What a lot of people don't realize is those printables come to you in two parts. You get a confirmation email that you've actually bought the printable, and then within seconds, you get another email. It's a separate second email, and that has the downloads in it, okay? If that helps anybody. So now I'm going to use Farmhouse Linen to paint the top, because that's what I always use. I'm going to do this just in case. And the lovely thing about working in hot glue is it loves chalk paint, okay? Doesn't love acrylics. Acrylics, you'll be forever trying to get coverage. So if you want to paint it acrylic, give it a coat of white or off-white chalk paint first, and then you'll get better color. The acrylic kind of stays kind of see-through. So I always, no matter what I'm going to do, I always give it a base coat of Farmhouse Linen, okay? And I'm going to paint the sides. put 2 coats on that. Let's give that a dry. I purchased from Printables, but I'm not seeing the download info. I have not received a confirmation or download my order info. Sausage paid but unfilled. Oh, your order info says paid but unfulfilled. I get it. I did read sausages first though. Okay, doll, check all your folders, check your junk mail, and check your spam. Okay. And no worries, no fret. Okay, if it's not in any of those places, there's another fix, and we'll message each other after this live. Okay, but don't worry, you're going to get your printable. Okay. I troubleshoot with this stuff all day long because for some of us, you know, me included 5 years ago, I didn't know my way around an email. You know, it just, you know, now that it's kind of part of my business, I've gotten a lot more technical, so I understand a whole lot more than I ever did before. And there's fixes for almost everything, okay? You checked all 3. All right. Let me finish this live, and then we will message each other. Make sure we're Facebook friends so I can message you. So one of my new friends, this is kind of a funny story, and I hope she doesn't mind me telling it, but it tickled me. She bought quite a few printables, and she emailed me and she says, "I've waited and I don't have any download. I don't have it." So I told her, you know, the standard thing, please check all your folders and your junk mail and your blah blah blah. Nope, not there. It's not there. Don't have it. I'm like, okay, all right, well, let me go look at your order and see what's up. So I went and I looked, and her order looked fine. I've sold hundreds and hundreds of downloads, and very rarely is there an issue. It's always something that either the purchaser doesn't really understand how to download, or I've never had it just not show up. That's not a thing. So I thought, let me go check her email. She forgot a letter in her email. So the email that she was checking was in fact the right email, but it's not the email that she registered in my shop with. We called it the missing R. So that was the problem. I don't know where I sent it because the email address wasn't correct. But as soon as I corrected her email address in my shop, I resent the downloads and she got them instantly. So there's always a reason. Hi, Nanette. All right, well that cools. Look, we can stand it up. Look at these lanterns. Aren't those gorgeous? There's 4 different kinds of lanterns, and I hung them like on shiplap walls, like they're hanging in the backyard. Isn't that beautiful? So pretty, but this is the image that we're actually going to use. Let's look at our cloche mold and see. This is the roughly bits I'm talking about. See how it's like a little uneven on the side? And you just take your glue gun, the barrel of your glue gun, run it along here. You'll see it smooth right out, nice and smooth. By the time you set that gun down, that's cool enough to press into the palm of your hand. And now you come away and you've got a perfectly straight edge, okay? I love my glue. I love my hot glue. You must have a gun that's hot enough. Your gun must be at least 100 watts. If you want links to the guns that I use, let me know and I'll put them in at the end of the, I use 2 different guns. I'll put links in at the end of the live if you're in the market for a glue gun that you know will work, okay? I'll send you links to the ones that I use. I just bought a new one because my other one kind of gave up on me, which is understandable. I use the heck out of them. And the reason I have 2 is so while one's heating the glue up, I'm using the other one. And then I put that one down and it heats up and I use the other one. So I go back and forth, and I always have a nice stream of really liquidy hot glue. Only because I make so many. I make so many castings, you know, that I don't have time to wait. I'm not that patient. All right, so there's our little cloche mold. And this, I just wanted to show you. It's hard to tell when it's in the mold, because when it's in the mold, it's concaved. This is convex. You know, there's a bit of a, but you can see that, you know what, let's cut this out and I'll show you. I'm very proud of this new template. I just learned how to make templates. They're drag and drop templates. So it's a template just sitting there and you drag and drop your image into it and it turns up there as the shape that the template is. And I figured that out the other day. It took me 4 hours. But I did it. Lots of YouTube videos. Because I wanted to make better images for the snow globe. We were losing too much good stuff at the bottom. Again, the round ones are still good. They're still good. They're still usable and doable. But the rectangular shapes are better. And moving forward, they'll all be in rectangular shapes. I'm learning as I go. So this beautiful image, because we're flat here, okay, it can be flat there and it'll go right down to that line, and then it goes from side to side. You can kind of center it the way you want it. It goes from side to side, and then you'd cut up around here. You know, you've seen me do this before. And then that's going to be your image on your cloche. Absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, very excited about this. Maybe we'll do that Sunday. Sherry, the meds are working. The meds are working. I'm very happy to report. Yeah, I'm not in pain right now. And anytime I sit in this chair in my space, I'm in pain, but I'm not in pain right now. And by 6 or 7 o'clock, I'm starting to be like, oh, you know, I'm back at about like a 3 or a 4. But by 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I used to be at a 7 or an 8, like every day. And in this chair, I was like at a constant 8. So yeah, they're working for me. I'm very excited. I'm going to talk to my doctor tomorrow. I may have to put him in my will, because I'll tell you what, it's life-changing not to be in that kind of pain all the time. And there are times where I have hours, and I count them. I'm up to, one day I had 3 hours with no pain, not even a 1. No pain at all. So totally worth it. So I'm not completely pain-free, but I do have hours, several hours, where I don't have any pain, and my pain has not been ever at any time the kind of pain that I've lived with for years. So yeah, it's all good. I'm a happy, happy camper. And no opioid effect. I'm just clear as I can be. And I don't seem to have a single side effect from it at all. Nothing. I'm just trimming all the white off of this so we don't get any white at the bottom. Oh, Charlene, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Did you use the coupon, honey? Oh, look how gorgeous that's going to be. That's going to be beautiful. Let's attach that. What do we need? We need decoupage medium. Oh, Sherry, I so hope that it works for you. I really do. Charlene, keep me posted, sweetie. It's a miracle, and it's a fairly new drug. He just said it's only out of FDA trials like about a year. So, all right, so we're going to, first I'm going to kind of see where I want this centered. Here's the thing that makes me mad. I've got a little piece of white sticking out there, so I need to take a super small brush because I'm working with white and black, you know. It's really going to show. So I'm taking it's an eyeliner brush, okay? Where's my black? Where's my pitch black? It's right here. I'm going to take a little bit. Yeah, God is good. You got that right. $30 after insurance. That's exactly what I paid, honey. That's exactly what I paid. Oh, good for you. I'm so glad. I'm holding a positive thought that it works for you like it's worked for me, Charlene. So when I'm trying to get into like a little space like that, I water my paint down so it comes off my brush easier. Because I want to get, can you see it? Yeah, you can see it. See that white right there? That's got to go. So I've got the smallest of brushes. I think I can just lay it right in there. I think. And because the paint is quite fluid, because I've made it wet with water, it should transfer pretty nicely. Oh yeah, this is working very well. Looks better if I have, do you see the difference? I really didn't get that edge at all. The medication is Jorvanex. Journ. Shoot. Hold on, I'll type it in. Journ. There it is. It's pronounced Jorvanex. Thank you, Charlene. I should have just asked somebody to do it for me. There, because I made that paint nice and liquidy, it just kind of floats right into that little small space. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Exactly what I wanted to have happen. That worked out really well. Okay, now we're ready to decoupage. You're welcome, Irma. All right. So my private class girls for the vintage Christmas tin, I think we're going to meet on Saturday, okay? We're going to meet on Saturday at 11. I'll message everybody. I'm like wildly busy all of a sudden. Well, not all of a sudden, but yeah, somebody said something about look how dark the back gets. Yeah, so I don't think I should paint this black. I think that would be a mistake. We'll see. We'll see what I decide on. All right, so what I started to do before I got pulled away by the little bit of painting. Yes, yes, Robin, that's a good point. Anybody, make sure that you ask your pharmacist to go onto the Jorvanex website, because there's a coupon there that, like my insurance, I would have paid $100, but because without insurance, it's over $400. But my pharmacist said, hey, let me look on their website and see if they have a coupon. And sure enough, they did. So instead of 100, I got it for 30. So yay. So make sure you do that. Okay, that's a really good, that's a good place to put this. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it right there, and I'm just gonna do this. Okay. And I'm going to lay my decoupage medium right in there. And I'm just going to anchor this. Take my plastic. All right, and then I'll come in from this side and do here. Make sure you get your decoupage medium all the way to your edges, because we're going to sand this off, and we want to make sure that it's adhered really, really well. So I kind of come in and I kind of spread it out evenly over the curved part. And then I go to my, when it starts feeling kind of, when I can feel the wetness through the mulberry paper, I get my plastic, because it's less apt to stick to the plastic than it is your finger. It can still stick, but it's less apt to stick. And then just get a really nice, that's too close. Get a really nice adhesion here. You don't want to wrap it around. You're not wrapping it over that. You're not going like that, unless you want to. I mean, you know, you do you. I leave my edges because I usually rub them with gold, but I can already see that I don't have a great adhesion right there, so I'm going to go back and just check my edges. They look pretty good. This little piece here got really wet. Can you see where it's kind of white? That's actually the decoupage medium showing through. It got really, really wet. And so it's kind of soaked through the paper, so I'm going to be super, super respectful of that area till it dries. Oh, look how sweet that is. So sweet. I have the first generation labels, both of them have been checked if it will work. I bet it will. I bet it will, Karen. I have both of them too. I didn't even check the other one because I know I can't get the other one, but I know I can get the newer one for anybody that needs one. But I'll bet it'll work. One way to find out. All right, let's give that a little dry. Now listen, when you're drying decoupage on hot glue, be aware that it's hot glue and it could melt. This is very, very hot, so keep it moving, keep it moving, keep it moving. Yeah, boy, I used the heck out of those conservatory labels. I sure did, a lot. Keep it moving. And don't Don't leave it on there for very long, okay? Like warm it up, give it a chance to do its thing. As it cools off, it's drying. It's drying the decoupage medium behind there, okay? I really think the gold is going to do us a lot of favors. So I'm using gold rub and buff. You can use either or. You can use gold wax paste, which will work, or I have a few tubes of rub and buff that I'm using up, so that's what I'm going to use now. I usually put mine on a brush. Not usually, almost always. Gives me more control. Oh, we were going to see if this little guy, I know he's dry enough now. I really want to put a pumpkin on here, but I don't know if he's too oversized. Like if I painted him white and touched him with gold, it looks like a pumpkin, right? That might be kind of cool, right? I might do that. I'm going to do it off camera, though. I'm not going to do it on camera. So I'm going to paint this white, and then I'm going to hit it with gold, and I'm going to paint the stem kind of a brown tone, and then I'll hold it up here and I'll see how that will look, because you know all the pumpkins are white, so that might be cool. We'll see. I don't think it's too big. Do you? It's hard to tell till it's painted. So we'll just start here with the gold. Leave your brush flat if you're using a brush. Oh yeah, that's going to be gorgeous. That's going to be quite gorgeous. Being aware that when you first start off with a freshly loaded brush, you have more product on your brush, and as you apply it, you have less, so you can apply more pressure, okay? If you go in with the same amount of pressure right at the get-go, you're going to get probably more gold than you want. Oh, see, yeah, that's going to be beautiful. I wanted to pick up the black of the blanket. Don't forget your sides. Okay, and then I generally make this on the mold itself. I'll make it solid so it has kind of like it kind of grounds it. You see what I mean by that? It kind of grounds it. Makes it look nice. I need more product. Should get your sides. And that looks really nice. And then I kind of do the same with these. I stay right on top of them. I try not to get it on my paper. So I kind of try to stay right on. It's hard because I've got this. I'll have to work this way. Try to stay right on top of the edges. I don't want to get it down in between there because I want that to stay black. And you can do the rub and buff with your finger after you've put it on with a brush. Boy, isn't that going to be pretty? Yes, please. That's going to be beautiful. Don't forget your sides. That looks really nice. I like that a lot. Now we have to do our conservatory label that's serving as our base. I always do the edges solid. I could probably get a better result with my finger on here. Yeah, look, that makes a big difference. If I painted that black, my image would darken up considerably. So thank you for mentioning that, because I don't know if I'd have thought of it, and then I'd have done it, and it would have been too late. That's why it's so lovely to have you guys here, because we all have different thought processes, and we'll see things that maybe somebody else won't see. And so I don't know that I'd have thought of that. Okay, so now I'm going to come in with my brush. And hit the high points of this. I'm trying to leave my brush flat. See that? Fabulous. There's a rim right around the top of that I'm hitting real solid. And you just work with the flat side of your brush, you'll get really good results. Also, those little round things, I like to make them nice and gold. Really nice. I'm very happy with that. Let's sand off that edge. No, following my Facebook page is not the same as being my friend, Radine. You'll need to go to Victoria Conhorst. Victoria, and then Conhorst starts with a K. Konhorst. And you'll need to send me a friend request on my personal page in order for us to communicate together. I can't send it to you because Facebook doesn't think that I have any reason to do that, but you have a reason to send me a Facebook request because you've watched one of my lives. Does that make sense? I'm going to have to fill that little white part in, I think. I don't know. We'll see. Where's my gator? So here's my gator sander. That's what I'm going to use to take the edges off. Where's my pumpkin? Still kind of married to this pumpkin idea. I'm not going to lie. So when I do this, this would be such a fun project for a group of girlfriends using the glue and printables, make it really affordable and rather easy. Yeah. Yep. It's true, it's true. So I stay right on the very, very edge of the snow globe. And I just do this and I get a perfect, it is kind of far away. I get a perfect situation. Yeah, I wish I still did classes. I'd do something like that, like in-person classes. I used to do an in-person class every month at my house. I had the same group of girls that would come every month. And, but it got to be a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot of prep. It's a lot of cleanup. It's a lot. And to let that go. Okay, so now we've got oh, look at that. Isn't that glorious? And I think putting something a little bit light colored down here will be really pretty. Yeah, we're only an hour in. Let's do it. Want to? I'm going to paint it farmhouse linen. I don't have my water cup out here, and it makes me mad when I forget that. Sorry. You can see I'm kind of using a scrubby motion because there's lots of detail on this, and I'm getting it pushed down everywhere. And then of course the sides, don't forget your sides. But you see how beautifully the hot glue likes the chalk paint. It really likes chalk paint. Probably because it's a little bit porous, you know, the chalk paint is. I'm going to give this 2 coats. Okay, let's give it another coat. So if I'm thinking this through, I think I want to give it a couple of little bits of green. You know how there's those green and white pumpkins. And for my green, I'm going to use Autumn Sage from Paint Couture. Let's dry this. Yeah, Nanette, you could do it whatever way you wanted to, honey. Whatever way makes you comfortable. Absolutely. I just, I've done so many that I don't really even think about that possibility because I know where if I have any issues, it's going to be right along here. And I know that I can fix anything that might happen. So I don't really stress too much about that. But you can certainly do it that way if you're more comfortable with that. So here's this pretty kind of autumn sage that matches our picture. I just want to go in and put see, just ever so, I'm sorry, I'm completely off camera, just ever so slight. Yeah, I like that. I calm that down a little bit. It's not quite so bright. And then I'm gonna paint the stem espresso. More money could be spent on wine. That's funny. What did I say? Oh, I'm gonna put espresso on the stem, which might be a little dark, but I'm okay with that because I can touch it with gold. So this is going to serve as my stem, I tell myself. Get that a little bit wet because it's a little bit thick, and then it'll move around easier. Need a smaller brush. There we go. All right, I like the way this is going. Yeah, that's going to be cool. When I hit it with gold. Let me think for a minute. I think I'm going to do a little bit more green. Because we're going to be covering it with gold anyway, so I'm going to do a little bit more green like here around my edges. Not too concerned with perfection here. Just getting some of the green on there. I love those green pumpkins. They're like those fairy tale pumpkins. Trader Joe's always has a big bin of those fairy tale pumpkins. They're all probably more like gourds, but they're the shapes of pumpkins, and they're all different speckly colors, white and orange and green. They're beautiful. All right. Do I like that better? I do. Okay, but we do have to calm it down because it's really, we might even antique it. Yeah, I think we're going to antique it because even if I just put gold on it, that's still going to read kind of really light colored. So I think I'm going to antique it and wipe that back. You with me? Am I losing everybody? I was going to do this off camera, but I got all the paints out now, so I might as well do it now. All right, there's my stem. What did I say I was going to do? I was going to antique. Ooh, I got a big bug bite last night. Mosquitoes. Man, the mosquitoes are still out in droves. Pretty late in the year for mosquitoes, isn't it? This is my pretty much empty jar of Van Dyke Brown. I have a whole brand new jar, but look, there's tons of product still in here, so I just add a little water and do this. It's pretty dark. Oh, you're glad I'm doing it now. Well, of course you are, Charlene. Charlene will be here till the last dog is hung, won't you, doll? You can always count on Charlene for moral support. All right. This might be a mistake. I don't know. Could be a mistake. Let's find out. By rights, I should seal this because it's really, really porous. It's really porous, and I know it's just going to soak up that. It's just going to soak up that brown and turn the whole thing brown. So instead of being a, ooh, look what just fell off the bottom of my satin top coat. A fall leaf. Maybe I do a fall leaf instead. And painted these orange and yellow colors. Well, we've already invested here, so let's finish this up. And then if we don't like this off camera, I'll do the fall leaf situation. So I'm just going to seal this so it doesn't suck up all the antiquing gel and turn solid brown, because that's what will happen, because this piece is really porous. Okay. Took less than a minute. It's the right thing to do. Let's give it a dry. I can't believe I saw that leaf. Maybe I do the pumpkin with the leaf coming from behind it. Do a whole situation like that. Maybe. Maybe. All right, so this is not quite dry enough. Hi, Regine. forget your sides. Now I've got my damp paper cloth, paper towel. I call it a paper cloth. I do kind of a pat, and then I'll come and take a flat part that's still wet, not wet, damp. Go over the tops. I am going to go down in here a little bit, which I don't normally do, but I want that to read more green than brown, so I'm taking some off from in there. So that still looks green, but it's got some real nice detail that softens it up even more. Do you see? Better. Better. Okay. Yeah, I already know I'm going to do that leaf and add it as well. I already know I'm doing that. I'm not going to do it live, but that's going to be on the finished product. Let's dry this and put some gold on it. You're stopping for a restroom break. So you're in a roadside restroom, peeking in on lives, huh? I like the way you travel. My husband, he's like, why are you always on your phone? I said, well, first of all, my stock answer is, well, it's my business, so I have to be on my phone. And then, truly, I'm afraid I'm going to miss something. So I'm always on my phone. Heaven forbid I miss something. Let's put some gold on this. Let's see if we're on the right track. Just on the high parts. Oh yeah, that's going to be beautiful. And then I'm going to paint this leaf shades of this yellow and burgundy. And let that peek out from behind our fairy tale pumpkin. These little balls here, I'm going to make them pretty heavily gold. I'm not putting any gold back down in here because I want that to stay green. And I'm going to do the edges. Not crazy, not full coverage, but just bring a little bit to the edges. And then, of course, I did the stem. Let's see if we're on the right track. So now, because I'm using Rub and Buff, the thing with Rub and Buff is you got to rub it. And it's more about friction than it is about pressure. And that brings a really nice glow to the Rub and Buff. So there's our pumpkin. Let's do the same thing to our actual piece here. So again, it's more about friction than it is about pressure. And you can't see it on camera, but when you do it in person, you can really see it. I'm going to have to, how am I going to cover the back of that? I think I'm going to have to do paper, like scrap of paper or something. You guys, I can hear Oliver snoring. Okay, so now we've got that nice. We're on the right track here. I think that's pretty cool, but I think it would be better with a pop of this orange and burgundy Boston baked beans and kind of do it kind of like that. Don't you think so? We'll see. We'll see what happens. I am going to line this with gold. I'll do that with my finger because it's kind of a straight edge. And if I get a little bit on the face of the paper, not a bad thing. Don't forget to put gold around the globe. Yeah, I'm doing that right now, right? That's what you mean, right, Dave? Linda? So this snow globe is, I like more than the other snow globe. The other snow globe, I love it. I like all the floral and stuff around the edges, but the opening is so small. It's really hard to get any kind of image in there. Like, not, there's very few images that you can get small enough and keep all of the image, right? Okay, so then now my top is nice and gold. Looks very nice from here. Okay, and then I'm gonna do, I do kind of like my pumpkin, but he needs some brightness, so I'm going to make that leaf. I might put it off the other side. I don't know. I'm going to paint this leaf like reds and golds and do the, you know, do this on the top. But that's where we're at right now, okay? I'll seal this with gloss varnish, so it'll have a nice shine to it. But that's that beautiful cozy porch. And I love it with the black because it picks up the black in the little throw that's on the bench. And then, of course, once you put the gloss on it, you know, it makes all the colors pop and everything. All right, you guys, that's it for me today. Linda, we're thinking the same. That's a good thing. All right, you guys, thanks for hanging out. I'll see you, I'll see my private Christmas Tin Girls on Saturday at 11. I'll see everybody else on Sunday unless I crash and burn, and then I might not be here on Sunday. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. All right, you guys, thanks for being here. Appreciate y'all. Bye.